My name's Joel Potter. I'm a professor at UAA and a resident of Nunaka Valley. Research supports the value of smaller schools like Nunaka Valley. They've been found to promote a greater sense of belonging, to have fewer disciplinary issues, higher teacher satisfaction, and better attendance and completion rates. The state of Alaska recognizes the value of smaller schools by funding them at a higher rate. What the public needs to understand is that with the consolidation of our elementary schools, ASD will forego these state funds. Because of this, I'm concerned that in the long term, consolidation will actually contribute to a budget deficit rather than alleviate it. Based on FY22 enrollment, my attached estimate, which I'll provide for you, is that with the proposed 6 school closures and consolidations, ASD will forego $3.6 million in annual base student allocation. That's $500,000 to $700,000 in lost revenue per closed school. Now, the state has a provision that will fund these schools at pre-consolidation levels for a couple years. But in 5 years, the schools involved in these consolidations will have to fully absorb these cuts, facing a 9% funding reduction. This is not much smaller than the 10.8 budget gap the district currently faces this year. Now, one might reply that in 5 years, the enrollment picture will be much worse, necessitating these consolidations. But what are these predictions based on? And what exactly is being predicted? Are the predictions specific to Northeast Anchorage? Do they take into account the census tracts in our parts of town that saw significant growth from 2010 to 2020? The public needs to see the math and supporting research. Now, it might be that the district will save some money from closures by relocating a few charters to ASD property. But how much will this save, and is closing schools necessary to achieve this? Could we achieve a large amount of these savings by having some of these charters share a building with an existing school, just as Nunaka Valley shares its building with a large preschool program? If the reason for consolidation is to fill the $68 million budget gap and do so in a way that doesn't generate a crisis a few years from now, then we need to see the math. If filling the budget gap is in a sustainable way is not the aim, then I don't know why the district leadership is pushing this through right now. It will require over 2,300 students to move to a different location next year, and will redraw the school boundaries for schools serving almost 4,500 students. Best practices in rezoning show that sweeping changes like these should be the result of a comprehensive, public, and transparent process and not a rushed attempt to fill an immediate budget gap. I end with a factual question. What is the average daily membership for this year, and does it fit with the predictions about enrollment decline? Thanks.
Thank you, Joe.